I'm State Senator Emanuel Jones, Chairman of the Georgia Legislative Black Caucus, the largest black caucus in the United States of America. We are gathered tonight to honor someone who's truly made an impact on every one of us sitting in this room, the Reverend Dr. Joseph E. Lowery. It is with great pride and extreme gratitude that the caucus presents you with this award, the Man of the Century, the highest award ever given by the Georgia Legislative Black Caucus. Dr. Lowery's story is one of true patriotism and courage. From his humble beginnings in 1957 as co-founder of the Southern Christian Leadership Conference with his good friend, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., to receiving the nation's highest civilian award, the Presidential Medal of Freedom from President Barack Obama in 2009. Dr. Lowery has made a lifetime commitment to fighting injustice, to fighting for human rights, economic equality, voting rights, peace, and human dignity. Every day he continues to weave a legacy of service and sacrifice that adds to the social fabric in America that binds all of us together. Tonight, we celebrate a man who carries so many different torches: leader, pastor, servant, freedom fighter, advocate, and yes, friend. But I'm sure that Dr. Lowery will place his role as loving husband and father at the top of his list of accomplishments, which truly illustrates the character of this exceptional man. On a personal note, I want to thank Dr. Lowery for his advocacy for a young man named Janarlo Wilson. It's the very first opportunity I had a chance to spend with Dr. Lowery, to march with Dr. Lowery, to pray with Dr. Lowery. It is during this moment that I realize his greatness and the impact that he has on America and even the great state of Georgia. Thank you, Dr. Lowery. Without his support, Janarlo would probably still be sitting in a jail cell of neglect. It is impossible for me to speak for everyone who has been touched in some way by Dr. Lowery's friendship, his guidance, his mentorship, his leadership, and even his grace. So let me decide to let some of our caucus members share their memories of what the Reverend Dr. Joseph E. Lowery has meant to them from a personal to a professional level. Dr. Lowery, we thank you and we salute you for your service and leadership that allowed all of us to sit here today as elected officials and community leaders. May God continue to bless you and your service to this great nation and this great state.
Hello, my friends. This is State Representative Tyrone Brooks, President of the Georgia Association of Black Elected Officials, a veteran of SCLC of many years. I'm just honored to be a part of this tribute to my leader, my neighbor, my friend, my civil rights activist who is still kicking at the age of almost 90 years old. We call Dr. Joseph Lowery the ever-ready bunny of the civil rights movement. We love him dearly. He is the dean of the movement. He was with Martin Luther King Jr. and Ralph David Abernathy and Fred Shuttleworth and C.K. Steele, the Hosea Williams, and the Rosa Parks, and Coretta Scott King, and the Amelia Boyntons, the John Lewises of the world, and his wife, Miss Evelyn Gibson Lowery, who's still with him today. I'm just honored to be a part of this tribute and to be at this program as we honor him, because we are truly blessed to have Joseph Eccles Lowery in our midst. I've been able to spend a lot of time with Dr. Lowery over the years. Of course, I was just a little kid when I met Hosea Williams, who brought me into SCLC. I was about 13 years old, and he introduced me to Dr. King when I was 15. In 1967, I was brought into SCLC full-time. And after the assassination of Dr. King in 68, Dr. Abernathy brought me into his executive staff, and I worked directly with him until he left SCLC in 1977. Dr. Lowery has been the longest serving president of SCLC from 77 to 97. And after we realized that he was going to retire in 1997, Rita Samuels, and Billy McKinney, and Joe Beasley, Earl Shinholster, Mark L. Hutchins, Bob Holmes, Ed Harbison, Richard Bright, and a few others. We met down in Culloden in Crawford County, not far from Atlanta, and we decided that we were going to make Joseph Eccles Lowery the chair and convener of the Coalition for the People's Agenda. And he's been doing an excellent job representing us statewide since 1997 after he retired from SCLC. And whenever we need him, we call on him. He has spoken at more Gabio events than I have. We've always called on Joe Lowery to come and give us some words of wisdom, challenge us, harass us sometimes, fuss at us, because that makes us stronger. That keeps us focused. And we were just so honored that the President of the United States, President Barack Obama, decided that he was going to bestow upon him the Presidential Medal of Freedom just last year. Being here in Atlanta, being our neighbor, being our friend and our leader, that was a special treat to see Dr. Lowery honored in such a way. And of course, watching him perform at the inauguration, having the last word, was a special moment for all of us, because he brought the message for the civil rights movement. He brought the message for all of us collectively, and we were just so proud that he had the last word at the inauguration. So I just want to thank Senator Emanuel Jones for thinking of me to include me in this video tribute. It's a high honor to be a part of this tribute. I don't take it for granted, don't take it lightly. But we must cherish Dr. Joseph Eccles Lowery, and we must commit ourselves to doing the work that he continues to do today. If you love Joe Lowery, if you love Martin Luther King Jr., Ralph Abernathy, and all these great leaders that we talk about all the time, you just wake up in the morning and say, I'm going to do some of that work. You won't be loved if you do that work. You'll be criticized. You'll be ostracized. You won't get any glorious headlines. Maybe negative headlines and comments in the media. But you gotta understand, this is the work that has made it possible for all of us to be what we are today. Some of us in Congress, some of us in General Assembly, some of us on county commission, some of us are in city halls as mayors, and city council, school board. Some of us are in judicial offices as judges. Some of us are sheriffs. And some of us are appointed officials. Some of us are working in agencies and departments. And all of us are playing a role to make this a better world for all of our children. So we don't take it for granted. We can't take it for granted. But we must thank Dr. Lowery for making it possible. Thank you, Dr. Lowery, and have a happy evening.
Well, it gives me a great deal of pleasure to be here tonight talking about my good friend, Reverend Dr. Joseph Lowery. Dr. Lowery and I go way back. He was very instrumental with me when I was serving as chairman of the Georgia Legislative Black Caucus. More importantly, Dr. Lowery has made his impact, obviously has done so nationally, and I was honored to be with him at a time when we convened the Coalition of the People's Agenda along with my good friend Tyrone Brooks. I learned a lot from that, but I also learned how to serve. I was made a better servant because of that, because the poor will be with us always, and Dr. Lowery never let you forget that. I think he impressed me most when he said, speak truth to power. And he's done that and done it like no other person has done it before. I'm so proud to be affiliated with him, and I'd like to wish him Godspeed and God bless.
My name is Alicia Thomas Morgan, State Representative, District 39. I represent Cobb County. I have been in the legislature since 2003, and I was elected at the age of 23. And I'm honored to be able to pay tribute to one of the individuals who's had the most significant impact on my life and service, Dr. Joseph Lowery. I remember when I was running for office at the age of 22, there were so many people that did not believe it was possible that I could win office in Cobb County of all places. But after working with Dr. Lowery for several years, since I was a student at Spelman College and president of the college chapter of NAACP, I had the opportunity to get to know him and to work with him on many issues that were important to us. And he was one of the very first people that when I said I was going to run for state representative, he didn't tell me how hard it was going to be, how impossible it was going to be, but he wrote a check and he said, here's my support and I'm with you. And because of his support and his advice and love and friendship and mentorship over the years, I believe that I'm the public servant that I am. Walking with Dr. Lowery and knowing him over these last probably 10 to 12 years, I've grown so much as an individual, because you can look at Dr. Lowery and know the breadth of his work, and at 89 years old, he is still working for justice and equality. And while many people could just retire and enjoy life, he wakes up every day wondering what he can do to make life better and make a world better than the one that he inherited. And so it's an honor to pay tribute to him. I don't know anyone more deserving of an award from the Georgia Legislative Black Caucus. He has gotten so many awards, but there's really nothing that we could do to repay him for all of the sacrifices, for all of the work that he has done for us to be where we are as a country, as a state, and as a community. And so I honor Dr. Lowry. I thank him for all that he has done for me as an individual. He considers me to be one of his daughters, and that is a real honor. And I'm grateful to be a part of his life and truly honored that he's a part of mine. And I know that I would not be who I am if it were not for him and the wisdom, the love that he's imparted in me, and the advice. He's someone that I know that I could call on anytime. Even if we don't agree on all of the issues, I remember that there's one thing that I've done that has that he will never forgive me for, and that's okay. But we still love each other, and we agree to disagree on that one little issue. But what I know about him is that if I ever need anything, when I ever have a question about right from wrong, if I ever need a compass for how to make a decision, I know that I could call Dr. Lowry, because he'll never steer you wrong. He's always going to do what's in the best interest of people and in the best interest of community. And Dr. Lowry says it best in our weekly Georgia Coalition for the People's Agenda meetings, of which I am a steering committee member, and I also serve on the missions board of the Joseph E. Lowry Institute. He reminds us often that we are chaplains of the common good. And so I don't know a better chaplain of the common good than Dr. Joseph E. Lowry. Congratulations, Dr. Lowry. I love you. I'm proud to know you. And thank you for all that you've done for us.
Hello, I'm State Representative Calvin Smyrie. I am deeply honored and privileged to have the opportunity to come to say a few words about my friend Reverend Joe Lowry. 37 years ago, I called Reverend Lowry as a freshman legislator in the Georgia House of Representatives. As a scared individual and never met Reverend Lowry, I wanted to seek his friendship and his counsel as a member of the Georgia legislature. I considered him an icon then, and I consider him an icon now. He's a guy that has been always respected by all who have ever come in his midst. And I just wanted to say to you, Reverend Lowry, how much I appreciate your friendship and your counsel over the years. My favorite quotation is the one by the late noted educator, Dr. Benjamin E. Mays, former president of Morehouse College, who once stated that you make your living by what you get. You make your life by what you give. Reverend Lowry, you made your life by giving. And for that, we're all thankful and blessed that you have crossed our path in a very, very pleasant way. Reverend Lowry, we appreciate you. We thank you for the many contributions that you have made, not only to this state, but to this nation and to mankind as well. We congratulate you as you receive this award from the members of the Georgia Legislative Black Caucus. Certainly is one that is earned, and we cherish your friendship, and congratulations to you on a much-deserved award. Thank you very much. Godspeed.
I'm State Representative Ron Mayo. I represent House District 91, portions of DeKalb and Henry County. And I remember the first time I met Dr. Lowry, it was at the Georgia International Convention Center in 2006. And I knew I was going to be running for office in 2008 and thought this would be a great opportunity to meet a civil rights icon and tell him all I had heard about and how much I appreciated his work. And I was excited about this opportunity to meet him, and I had a chance before the event started to go over and say a few words to him. And I introduced myself. I said, Dr. Lowry, I'm Ron Mayo, and I'm going to be running for public office. And I know about all of the great work you've done, and I just want to continue that rich legacy that you've started. And I want you to know that I really need your support for my campaign. And he said, People's Agenda doesn't endorse candidates. We send out surveys. And I said, well, Dr. Lowry, that's fine. Well, can I at least take a picture with you? And he obliged, and we took a picture, and I was thrilled. That's all I really needed to make my day. And I had that opportunity to meet him. It was great, and I really appreciate everything, Dr. Lowry, you've done over the years. And anything I can ever do for you, don't hesitate to ask. And in that same conversation, you know, I was rambling, going on and on about how great of a man he was, and he finally stopped me and said, you know, you're a ham. And then he pointed to another gentleman, an elected official from East Point. He said, and he's a ham too. Y'all are two hams. Dr. Lowry, I'm still a ham.
and I would still like to have that endorsement. So keep up the work, live another 50 to 100 years, and be around for us. We need you. We love you.
I'm Georgia State Senator Gail Davenport, and I'm truly honored to be here today to pay tribute to Reverend Dr. Joseph Eccles Lowry. We applaud Dr. Lowry for his work in civil rights as a civil rights and human rights advocate, always international leader advocating for social justice. I had the pleasure and honor to work in the office next to Reverend Dr. Lowry, in his office for the Georgia Coalition for the People's Agenda in the historic Atlanta Life Insurance Company building, and attended some of the weekly meetings Dr. Lowry convened for his organization in that building, and actually sat at his feet and got a lot of the wisdom. Dr. Lowry has been to Clayton County, the area that I represent, for many years, advocating and for the citizens of that county and for many counties throughout Georgia and to many communities across America. So we appreciate him so much. He and his wife, Mrs. Evelyn Lowry, work as a team, and that the family has made a great sacrifice for citizens across Georgia and throughout the land. And so we appreciate him so much. We appreciate Dr. Lowry for your work as president of the Southern Christian Leadership Conference, as the co-founder of the Black Leadership Forum, as the convener for the Georgia Coalition for the People's Agenda, and then as a minister of the gospel, an ordained minister in the United Methodist Church, always having a strong voice for freedom from the pulpit, and then as your work for the as founder of the Joseph B. Lowry Institute. So we appreciate all that you've done. I am one of 56 senators today because of much blood that was shed and much sacrifice for unsung heroes and sheroes of all of our times. And Dr. Lowry played a good part of that. And we appreciate your sacrifice. Thank you for your support of me over the years. I am so appreciative, and we thank you for all that you've done. We applaud you today, and we recognize you, and we pay tribute to you, and I'm just so honored.
Dr. Lowry, Gloria Chinubu here, extending warmest wishes and congratulations on your award. I can't think of anyone more deserving than you. We've known each other for over 20 years. I remember talking with you when I initially decided that I would run for the Atlanta City Council, and I recall how encouraging you were then and how encouraging you've always been to me in whatever it is that I decided that I wanted to do. So I want to thank you for just being just the greatest person in the world. You always give credit to others for your life, and I know one of those persons that you continue to give credit to is your lovely wife. And I want to say to you that we love both of you. We think the world of you, and we thank you for your many years of unselfish contribution, not only to people of African American descent, but to all people. You've always been there to fight for those who are not in positions to fight for themselves, whether they are poor people, laborers, people who are from other countries who have challenges. You've always been there to support the downtrodden. And so, Dr. Lowry, we thank you on this day. I'm honoring you, and we say we love you, we appreciate you, and we thank God for you.
Hi, this is Billy Mitchell, State Representative for the 88th Legislative District. Growing up, my grandmother would never miss an opportunity to encourage me and tell me about the times in which she lived. For instance, she told me of the time she had the opportunity to march with the Reverend Joseph Lowery and others trying to help two women who were falsely accused of voter fraud. As an adult, I've heard Reverend Lowery tell the story much more vividly than my grandmother ever did. They were in Pickens County, Alabama, ready to march and protest. Their plans were to march from Pickens County and bring attention to this injustice and get the women out of jail. When they were ready to march, word had gotten out that the sheriff of the county was going out to all the homes in the community and he was giving out hams and turkeys. He was telling them not to get involved with the march. They were thinking at the time nothing to worry about. Folk would not sell their souls for hams and turkeys. When they got to the place where the march was to begin, they were met with a disappointing number of participants. They had to ask themselves, are folk actually selling their souls for hams and turkeys? To make a long story short, they decided to march on and eventually did get the women out of jail. But as Reverend Lowery told the story as no one else can, here's what happened at their first stop in Aliceville, Alabama. When they turned the corner, although they were disappointed by the number, it all quickly turned to joy because there waiting on them were so many others, and they had their marching shoes on, and they had baskets, and those baskets were full of ham sandwiches and turkey sandwiches to feed the hungry marchers. Something else my grandmother told me comes to mind, that is, you are judged by the company you keep. Reverend Lowery, when I'm privileged to be in your company, she would be so proud. Continued best wishes to you.
Hello, I'm State Senator Lester Jackson, Senior Whip of the Georgia Legislative Black Caucus. Dr. Lowery, thank you for giving us hope in America. Thank you for your stance on civil rights. Thank you for your stance on civil rights. Thank you on your stance for health care.